introduce yourself?
Yes, yes. I'm working with one reputed organization since last 3 years as a front-end developer, and I'm working on Angular, JavaScript, and TypeScript. I have basic means good knowledge of HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap also, and currently learning Angular materials.
Okay, so what version you are working right now with Angular?
Yes, 10 version I'm using in my current project.
Angular 10.
Yes, Angular 10.
Okay, and do you know what is the latest version of Angular right now?
Yes, Angular 16 I think is the latest version.
Okay, so do you know any features of it? What they have introduced in Angular 16?
Oh, no, I didn't go through it. I just only one feature that is you can use standalone components.
Correct. Okay. So do you know what stands for standalone components? Means what?
So I no actually I don't.
So actually in Angular 16, we are moving out of the modules, NG modules. Okay. So
Mhm.
you have been creating the modules, NG modules in Angular 10, correct? So
Mhm.
the component you have to. So tell me, when you add the component in your project, so what CLI does for you? Means what dependencies it adds everywhere in the project?
Yes, CLI already registered the component with the app module.ts.
Okay.
If we have to use that component in another, so we have to import that just import the component.
Okay. So if I don't add there, then what will happen?
Yes, it will give error, and it will we can't use in another module.
So yeah, so there is the standalone component comes. Okay, so you don't need to
Hmm.
import anywhere. So you have to mention the component. When you create a component, it creates a template, then your style
Hmm.
and your HTML files. Correct. Three parts
Yes.
over there. Okay, and your app name, whatever component name. So there is a one flag they have added, the standalone true. Okay, so means
Hmm.
that this component is not depend upon anyone. Okay, so it will
Yes.
independently work, but for that you have to import the dependencies, whatever dependencies it requires, like common modules you might heard. Okay, so kind of those
Yes.
things we have to import at the component level, not the on the module level. So read about those because that things are in the trending right now. So mostly companies are moving from modules to standalone, so it is easy to maintain, so you don't need to write import export everywhere, shared module and all those things. Okay. So, and apart from Angular, so any other framework do you know of the JavaScript?
Just Angular.
Okay, okay. So, okay. So, how you are dealing with a large data set in your project? So, do you have any tables or something in your
Yes,
project?
yes, yes. In our last project that is e-commerce, we
Mm-hmm.
have handled we have created the admin panel,
Mm-hmm.
and basically work on order module, and that order module contains all the entries which are means users ordered, and we have used mat table there, and also we have used that table that is already in there that comes with sorting and paginator, so we can handle that with the paginator.
So, your data set handles at the server level with a pagination.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
that data is already means coming from the backend, so it can
Okay.
be handled with
So,
the
data is
paginator.
coming in the chunks or it returns you the whole data in the single go?
What?
data is data is coming to in a chunks, means if you have the 100 records, the backend
No,
is
actually
sending.
data, no, no,
uh,
no. The data is actually means whole data is coming, but while displaying is paginator works.
okay, so have you heard about infinite scroll in Angular?
No.
Okay, so note down that because that gets used when the
Okay.
large data set comes. So when you scroll
Hmm.
down, it get automatically loaded to the DOM, kind of. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So okay, so if your project is lacking very, it is taking too much time to load in the DOM, and it is taking too much size in the main.js file, okay, in your
Mhm.
bundle file. So at that time, how you will check that, how to reduce the load time and all. So means how
Yes.
to optimize the performance in that case. What the steps you
Yes.
do?
Angular actually provides a beautiful service that is lazy loading. Lazy loading. That lazy loading means we can loads the module as per our requirement, and that means if we create the module with a lazy load and that command, then means it will decrease the main.ts file, and probably it will decrease the optimization means loading time.
And how you will check that what modules it taking how much time?
Actually, in the means in the browser we have the feature like means we can check the time that how much timing it taking
Okay. And
by debugging.
how to check the component how much size it has been taken in the DOM?
So I think that feature will means I don't know means I didn't work on that, but I think that will be included in means debugging tool which provided us Google provided us.
Okay. So actually we have one npm package. Okay.
Hmm.
So the name of that is Webpack Bundle Analyzer, or you can
Hmm.
search for the Angular Analyzer as well. So it will create a structure for you in the DOM to see what modules taking how much size. Okay, and what is the path
So
of
we
it?
have to install that webpack bundler in Angular. We are using
Yes,
Angular CLI.
yes,
Okay, fine.
yeah, yeah. So that is the one. So it will help you to check the what components, what is the size of the component each one. Okay, and do you know why we use a angular.json file? Means what is the use of it?
Angular.json file is it the file, yeah, this file is actually as we provide ng-sub command, then it will help us
Hmm.
to load the our bundle files on the browser.
Okay. Any other thing? Okay. So when you write a new test case or something, so how it will
Mhm.
run? Means have you written any test case?
Because of that. I don't-
Okay. So test case should be written for each component in Angular, correct? So
Hmm.
in your project, are you using the Sonar or something to check the code quality and all?
No.
Okay. So because of that, you are
So
safe.
we just write the code and push onto the gate, push on
Hmm.
gate. That's why I means
Hmm.
I just didn't perform unit testing also.
Okay. Because the unit test makes sure that your component should work
Mm-hmm.
in the different situations. So that
Mm-hmm.
is why. Okay. But read about those because as your experience is growing, so those things are expected from you. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now. Okay. So do you know what is difference between ng on init and constructor?
ng on it and constructor. Okay.
Hmm.
ng on it actually a life cycle hook, and constructor is not actually part of life cycle hook, but it can be said as in one Angular component. A constructor is basically used to inject the dependency. It is a best place to inject the dependencies. And in ng on init, that we can make API calls in ng on init, so that the data will be available means at the of means starting of the components means.
Can we call the API from the constructor as well?
Yes, we can call, but it's mandatory to make constructor as simple as I didn't actually done that, but I
Mhm.
think we can call the API calls in constructor. What is the best answer for that?
Actually, we use a constructor to do the things related to the component initialization basically. Okay, we
Mhm.
can call the from the constructor only as well, but
Okay.
ng on it make sure that the constructor phase is done. Now the lifecycle hooks method gets started.
Yes, and
So
one of the differences constructor is get called first, and after that ng on it gets called after constructor.
okay, and why constructor get called first before ng on it?
So it's mandatory to get all the dependencies
No,
before starting the
that is correct, that is correct. Okay, but
before starting the
why
constructor. Yeah.
why the constructor get called first, that I must. Have you
Mm.
seen your components sometimes? what you have written in your
Yes.
component. So when you create
Yes.
a component, then what is the type of it? Is it object, class, is it array or something? What it
Is
is?
it a class?
Okay. And if you
Component
return,
is a class
hmm,
decorated with the decorate means uh, at the rate component decorator.
okay. So still, why component? Why when the component get loads, why constructor get called? So you already know now
Mm.
the class is there. So if you know about C, C++ as well, so you can remember. See, when you create a class, okay, so
Mm.
every time your constructor get automatically get called. Okay. So it is
Mm.
not the kind of the Angular thing, it is the JavaScript thing. So anywhere
Okay.
you create a class, your constructor get called first. Okay. To
Mm.
initialize your class variable and all. Okay, we'll move to the next one. So have you faced any cross origin resource sharing errors, course error?
Yes, yes, yes. Course error.
So
In
when
last
it
project,
comes,
when because we have created one project is there insurance domain project.
hmm,
So in that insurance domain, uh, there is a means a spelling mistake in the means backend file, and we are using another means endpoint. So that was there was we facing that course error.
okay,
So
okay. So is that because of
there is
that?
another reason to there
Hmm?
is another reason.
No, but do you know when it comes?
Actually, when the backend files is not matching with our program,
Files?
so
No, no, no.
that
See,
course error.
see. So files means what? Uh, you are calling file from
That
Angular?
JSON file. Like,
No, no, no. See,
oh,
you are calling API, not the file. Okay.
yes.
Okay. So now you're calling some API from the backend, and you said that not matching something, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, it should return the bad request or something 404, correct? Because it is not there.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
so uh, do you know why it comes then? It is not related to files. It is related to the domain. Okay, okay.
When
So
domain
let
is
me,
not matching.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Let me tell you. So, okay. So you're working on www.google.com. Okay. You have backend on the www.google.com. Okay. And you are trying to get the data from localhost 4200 to google.com. Okay. So your Chrome what does? It checks your domain should be matching. Okay. So if you are calling from the local host, it should be called to the localhost backend. Correct. But in that case, what is
Mm.
happening? We're calling from localhost to directly Google. So this is the different domains, correct? So at that time you get that error. So now tell me, do you know if you are getting kind of this error, so how to resolve this? Means what steps we have to do?
Uh, can we request to the backend team
Hmm?
to go through that?
Yes, backend team can handle it. But do you know what
Hmm.
backend team needs to do? This
Hmm.
okay. So this should we know as well as a UI developer. So that is
Hmm.
why I'm asking. Okay. So there is a cross origin things in the backend as well. Okay, there we can add the domains, then we have to allow the domains whatever domain we need to allow. If you do you know node.js?
Yes.
Okay, so have you heard about the course in node.js? There is a one
Yes.
middleware express.
I do not work on Node.js. Just
Okay,
on I don't
okay,
just
so
know
there
about
is
the
one
Node.js.
package, course package.
Hmm.
Okay, over there you can give the origins, what origins you are allow to the get the data from the backend.
Mhm.
So with it you can resolve that. Okay. So okay, so this can be a simple question for you now. So what is dumb component and a smart component?
DOM component and smart component.
Hmm.
Yes, that means we are suppose we are providing. I don't know actually what it is, but I think
But
it is
by
like
naming
that.
as well you can guess.
Yes, that component which are eagerly loaded in
No,
in
no,
the browser that can be said.
no, no, it is
Hmm.
not related to loading.
Then by routing, if we provide routing and that
No,
another loaded component,
this is also not the case. So okay, so you
I will go
work.
through that health.
No, no, I will tell you. Please note down as well. I am also note down the questions. I will share the
Hmm.
list of the questions with you at the. Okay, so DOM components are nothing but these are the component takes the data and show on the UI. So they don't parse, they don't have any capability to do the manipulation into the your variables, and also these are components are the read only components. Okay, you pass the data to that component, it will only show kind of the, suppose you are showing the seller, sorry, if you are showing the some data at the product. Okay, so you want to show the name, price, and quantity kind of something. So this is the label kind of the data. So in that case you can say it is the dumb component because it is not doing anything, it is just rendering the data. And the
Okay.
smart component is that smart component should be able to pass the data to your dumb components, and you can manage the data as well in that case. So if you are changing the drop downs value, then your dom change, your value get changed, kind of. So those things are comes
Okay.
into the smart component.
So by default, it is a smart component. Then how to create the dumb
See,
component?
you
Means
were
there.
no, no, no. See, uh, let me share my screen, and I will write some in the whiteboard. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is one page. Okay, and you have one button over here. Okay. Uh, this is kind of the drop down something. Okay, and on change of this, you have to show some data here. Suppose you want to show the each value of the selected products at the level. Okay, and you are showing name of it, price of it, and quantity kind of. This is the read only component. Okay, so this component is
Okay.
passing data to your child, correct,
Mhm.
and child is rendering that data. Okay, so
Yes.
all the logics written in the top level parent component. Okay, you are passing,
Mhm.
you are getting the data, latest data on the change of this drop down, and you are passing again to your child. But child, what child is doing, child is just showing the data, he is not doing anything, correct. So
Mhm.
this is only the read only component, I mean to say. So such kind of things comes to the dumb components. So these are the dumb component we can say, and these are the smart components because we are managing the data over here. This is the small example,
Okay.
but in real time you might have been, you can realize that now, you know, in your project as well, somewhere you are just showing the data. Okay,
Mhm.
so this kind
Okay.
of the you can make the simple component and you just pass the data to it. So in that way
So it
we,
is like that static websites like that.
not the static, because see, this is also not the static. Even if it is dumb component, no. See, you are passing some values, array you are passing to your child component now. Okay, from on the change of this. Okay, and this array you have passed to your child component. Okay, and you with now tell me how you pass data parent to child.
Mhm. Okay.
No, I'm asking how you pass parent to child data.
There is a one feature input output like
Okay, see
by using
now.
input.
Okay, yeah. So by using input, you pass that this component data. Okay, it will take that data in the component, in the dumb component. It will just show. Correct.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yes.
It's what is the use of this component to show whatever data you pass from the parent, the array,
Mhm.
this array. So
Okay.
this is the smart component, and this below one is a dumb component.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the case. Read about those as well. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, in your project,
So in
hmm, yeah, yeah, go through.
no you no provide proceed.
Okay, so okay, so you have one component and you want to take the data from the backend. Okay, so you need to write your logic in engine in it, correct? To get the data
Hmm.
from the backend, call the API from service out, correct? But
Hmm.
if something is there, so I want to get the data before the component get called. So do you know how to do that?
Before the component get called.
Yes.
Actually, when we call the service, then
No. See. Uh, Okay, so you write your component into the routing file, correct? Have you heard about resolver?
it's
Hello?
hard, but I didn't
Resolve.
use.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So no, note down that because resolve method helps us to call some service before calling the your component. Okay.
Mhm.
So suppose you want to show data depend upon some flags. Okay. So in that case, you have that flags before calling the component. So on that case, you
Mhm.
can reroute your things before getting to the engine on it. So in that case, we use a resolve method.
Resolve method. So we have to call in service only.
No, so
That's
resolve is nothing but a
different.
kind of a one service. Okay, and you have to add
Okay.
at the component level.
Okay.
You can search Angular resolver, you will get it.
Mhm.
Okay, will I have added in the list that question as well. Okay, we'll move to the next question. Okay, so we talked about the resolve as well. So have you heard about auth guards? Means when we use it,
Yes.
what is the use of it?
Yes. Auth is basically used to means secure the route. So
Hmm.
I used can activate route guard in my last project, and in that case, a can activate routing guard provides us two parameters actually, route
Hmm.
and another one is what I think next.
Hmm.
So we have to import activated route there, and that activated route gets the current means current route information about means get current route information we can get through the activated route. And if we have created some means a login form, and if users log in on that page, so that login service will means provide the value true or false, that will raise the flag, and as per that true or false value, we can um, activate the guard, and
Okay.
that guard we have to attach to the that route
Hmm.
in app routing.module file.
Kind of correct, but there are few things as well with it. So let me add
Mhm.
this as well. Auth guards. Okay. So have you created any directives in your project?
Yes.
Okay. So
Uh,
when we should
means
use a directive?
so that directives means there are ng4 and ng, if that directives we are asking.
Yeah. So what type of that directive is?
There are three types actually directives. One is a component, that component is also act as a directive,
Hmm.
and there are second type is a structural directive.
Hmm.
So in that ng if ng4 are there, and ng switch mostly use like, and another one is attribute directive, that is ng class and ng style.
Correct.
So in structural directives, we can add and remove the DOM elements, and like attribute directives like ng class, that we can change the behavior of the DOM element as per the condition. Dynamically we can change the behavior.
Okay. So we use for the behavioral directive, we use for a data or for some classes, CSS or kind of.
Classes, CSS classes.
Okay. So you do you know host binding and host listener?
Yes.
So what is the
Host,
main? Hmm.
yes, mainly that used in when we create custom directive,
Hmm.
and when I have to bind that element to the means that of our directive, so we need host binding, and
Hmm.
host listener actually used to continuously listening that event on which is performing on that on the element, like it can be button also, or it can be a link.
Okay. Correct. So how we pass the data to your directive? So have you passed some data to directive? Means I want to show two types of
um,
button. Okay, primary button and secondary button.
hmm.
So you should pass something to your directive so he can realize that what kind of the CSS I need to apply on this button. So have you passed something with somewhere? Okay.
There is a inner text, that property I think.
That is fine. That is fine. No, no, I am asking about CSS. Okay.
No, no.
Yeah, so for that we have to pass some flag to directive. Okay, so you will check that flag in the
Okay.
directive, and depend upon that you will apply some css to your host listener, correct?
So yes, yes, we can use the condition also. As
Yeah,
per that
but
condition, we can add the class.
correct, but how your directive will know the condition, what, how you pass something to your directive, that I'm asking. Okay, so in your project are you using scss or css?
CSS.
Css.
Yes.
Okay, and why? Okay, so leave for why. But what is SCSS then?
Actually, advanced version that means very few elements we used for with SCSS. So
Hmm?
I didn't told that we used SCSS. Very few concepts from SCSS we used in our project.
Because we mostly use by default SCSS now. We don't use CSS in Angular.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. So okay. So how we handle the memory leaks in Angular? So do you know anything?
Memory leaks. Okay. Memory leaks problem actually comes because of uh, didn't unsubscribe the observables.
Mm-hmm.
So we always need to be unsubscribe the observable that are means which observables are not means self-subscribing are not there.
Okay.
Then
Okay. So do you know async pipe?
yes,
So what
async
is the
pipe.
what is the use of it?
Hmm. Async pipe is actually works on observable
Hmm?
that handles the data which comes from the observables that can be the observables we means which are we applying on the backend data that coming from the backend. So async pipe is means we need not to be subscribe and unsubscribe manually. So we can just create the property with
Hmm?
async means that with the name and the data type of that property should be observable.
No, but
So
yeah, so property should be observable, not the type of any.
yes,
It should be observable. Then only your
yes, it
async
should
will
be
work with it. Okay,
yes.
correct. Okay. So what is the difference between pure pipe and impure pipe?
Yes. Pure pipe means works only on when there is a pure change in the input, and impure pipe is said to be means on every change the impure pipe will uh, means impure pipe will execute, and async pipe is basically a most means example of impure pipe.
Okay.
So by default, by default the we if we create the pipe, then it is a pure pipe.
Okay. By default, it is pure.
Pure pipe.
So what type of the compilation Angular does when you save your
Angular is
changes? Hmm?
hmm.
So what type of
So
compiler we use?
AOT compilation is there.
And what is the advantage of it?
Means compilation process as soon as we save our files, so
Hmm?
it will start compilation.
That JIT compilation also does, correct?
Yes, yes.
But there are a couple of difference between both. So why they are using the AOT now instead of using the JIT?
So yeah, AOT is giving runtime errors to us. So it's easy so that
Okay, so it will create a JavaScript bundle files
hmm,
before it loading to the DOM. Okay, so and in git it goes to the DOM in browser, and then it getting passed and load your page. So ahead of time it helps us to get the runtime errors at the your bundle file level as well,
hmm,
and in the DOM as well. So it will helps us to save the time as well, loading save the time
hmm.
of the loading as well. I think we have covered couple of tricky questions. So if you have any question, then let me know now.
Could you please explain how to answer the question? Because many times I forgot to the many of the points that I should explain. I have to explain.
Okay.
Many
So
times,
note down the questions, whatever every interview, whenever you give an interview. Okay. So as soon as your interview get completed, note down all the questions somewhere.
okay.
So this is the common thing I am telling each and every interviews in the mock interview.
Mm,
Okay. So now I asked 13 or 14 questions related to Angular now. Okay. So you have the 14
mm,
questions list now. So
okay.
you should prepare those as well. And the next interview, two or three should be coming from in 13 questions. Okay. So you will be
Yes.
ready for those questions. Okay. So this is the one thing to prepare. Now another thing. So whenever you are trying to give an answer for each question, try to give some practical kind of answer, not the theoretical only. So I told you for the
Okay.
course error. So you mentioned that it is related to backend and something is not matching. So this is fine. So but in that way, I also realize that but you are just missing something over there. So that's why I told you google.com localhost. So you can realize the things as well. So try to create such kind of example, small example to tell in the 30-40 seconds, so it will help you to explain as well, like the way I told you now, dumb component, smart component. So you can now explain the smart are the smart components, it we are doing something in that component. Okay. And the dumb components, we are not doing anything, we are just passing data, it is rendering, that's it. So try to do kind of the things, so it will help you to answer as well. And if you are, and one trick I usually prefer to use. So if you are giving an answer, so if you know that while talking about angular.json or something, I have to tell 5 points. Okay, so remember 5 points
Mm,
for angular.json and try to remember those five points whatever you have written somewhere.
okay.
So yeah, so in that way, that whenever someone asks related to angular.json, I have to tell five answers, five points in this question. So at least you should
Okay.
remember three, four kind of. So this is also helps to remember the things as well by the numbering.
Okay.
And in the chat, I'm pasting the things. Otherwise, let me mail you on this mail only. I will mail the questions whatever I ask you here. Any
Okay.
question, Reshma?
Can you tell means many means JavaScript related concepts that I have to prepare first? That
No, see, but before that, go through the that Akshay Saini's videos. Otherwise, if I directly
okay.
tell you, so you will miss those things, because those are the core concept of the JavaScript. Those things you should know,
Okay.
because he has explained in very depth.
Okay. Fine.
So that will help you. But the common questions I have, but once you prepare, let me know so I can ask you those questions. So it is easy to
Okay.
answer as
Fine.
well and explain as well to you. That is not the problem.
Okay.
Okay, so any other question do you have now?
No. No. Fine.
Okay, then. If you have any question, please ping me on Instagram as well.
Okay. Fine.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yep.
much for the
Yes.
guidance.
Yep. Yeah. No problem. Yep. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.